Hello, everyone in the chess world. So today is part three of the Owens Defense, and I think this is gonna be the most fun of all because today we're going to see the Samish approach against this opening, and it's quite interesting because we do start with e6 initially, and here there are basically two ways to play for white, which are bishop on e3 and c4. So now initially I have to say that bishop on e3 is basically correct move. I cannot objectively assure that c4 is a weak move, but I'd like to tell you that. We'll see that later on because bishop on c4 is going to be our last line. Against bishop on e3, which will be a good move, you have options. Some people have tried different lines, even knight on f6. I think d5 is the easiest one for you to play. You know, anytime that white plays e5, you're just going to go with your c5 strategy, where if, you know, maybe white will have to hold the center table with c3, you'll pressure with knight c6. If at any point white has to reinforce this e5 pawn with f4, well, then they would have recognized the loss of a 10. But, you know, strategically, this makes a lot of sense. And after knight on c3, well, once again, we can go for this Owens strategy, your normal strategy defense. Just even in here, always be willing to give up the pair of bishops, give up this dark square bishop, just to create this pressure on the center, in this case on the pawn on e4. And I mean, I like how this position already seems quite satisfying for me. I don't see much for, I mean, what will you do with white here, right? You have to do something. The center is, I mean, the e4 pawn is threatened. And I mean, if you, once again, if you advance, we'll have c5 and let us say something like this. Queen c7, it'll look more like an Indo-Indian. And if bishop on d3, you can even immediately exchange bad bishop for good bishop. You're totally fine in here. Bishop on d3, hey, this is not enough. This is why I was wondering, you know, what to play here with white, because this seemingly natural move will lose a pawn. You always have a queen h4 check there. So, I mean, you know, I think, I mean, the best try that I've seen, I think, was this bishop on b5 check by white. A little bit disturbing, you know, disrupting. It will be disrupting, not disturbing. That would be too much. Disruptive, I meant. I mean, we do have knight on d7, and I think that they should finally take on the center. We can take with the bishop here. I've seen that in a few games. We can also take with the pawn, because then, you know, if we play it like this, I think that, yeah, we give up on the idea of giving up now that the bishop is really valuable on d6. And of course, I mean, more than ever now that white's bishop is there, there is no knight on b5 harassing our bishop. And I don't know, we can play it like this. It should be, maybe it's an unclear position. We see, I think we will feel a little bit uncomfortable with both colors in here. Black is fine, but our bishop on b7, it's gonna probably want to go to c8 someday. Maybe, if we cannot make c5 work. White has a weird pawn on f3 and another pawn on d4, a little clamped on the center. Queen d2, bishop on e3 doesn't seem to have a lot to do with the game. More, you know, more now than ever that we've controlled. You know, it's like I see bad stuff for both sides. But it looks like definitely it's a successful result of the opening for black. Once again, this position is we're fine here. So even when I think that bishop on e3 is maybe the correct move, it seems to lead to really good positions for us. But now finally with this c4, this is where the fun part comes, because f5, the super aggressive f5 is going to be our move in here. And well, initially, if you see this, you'll think it's an aggressive move, nothing to worry about, right? Well, once again, maybe it will be in your best interest to think about what to play with white in here. I think there are a lot of seemingly good options that are almost unplayable. So let me tell you, e takes f5 is basically the move. Once again, you cannot hold the center like this. We always have the same problem, that is not protecting the pawn. We always have this resource. So bishop on d3 is already a no, Well, knight on c3, well, bishop on b4. Once again, normal Owens strategy, hitting up the center. And not even e5 in here, because d6 is actually too hard to meet. I mean, f4, the seemingly natural move. Look at this. These are really like, we take it, and this is a huge advantage, If you take with the pawn, of course, queen on h4 check. I mean, that's it, right? So, but then you will take it like this. D takes e5. Well, it's the same thing, but look at this. After g3, queen d8 exclam. Because the main idea is done, which is that how are you going to prevent bishop takes rook? So it's just trapping the rook, I like this, just going back, not even giving anything, just let us even exchange queens. So as you can see, after f5, e takes on f5 is a must. And this is very important because this line is called the Poli-Gambit. This is a gambit. We're going to sacrifice not one but 2 pawns. And this is why I said that the fun part is coming up right up. I think that the first time that I experienced this position, or one that is shockingly similar, maybe the same with inclusion of knight on c3 and bishop b4, let us say. Again, I had to face this with white, and my opponent played knight on h6, and this is the initial continuation of this gambit. We just gave up a pawn, and now we're giving up another one with a move that it's unusual. The knight on the rim, it can be captured by white's bishop. I mean, it looks like black went berserk, but I mean, actually taking the knight is wrong. Now the check, we're gonna use it just to recapture with the queen on h6. And if pawn takes, once again, the pair of bishops, the open lines, the d7 square for our knight, because you look at this, and even the pawn chain looks ugly, right? But look at this, where everything is ready to get into the action. All the pieces are active. We can even, I mean, surely gonna castle short, but we could even play 97 long castles. We have queen on e3, we have dark squares, it's really funny. The computer is giving us already a big advantage here. And this is why nobody takes on h6 in this position. The Poli-Gambit follows with takes, the normal thing. And now, I like this because you might argue, well, let us recapture. It's the same as in the other line, yeah, pawn down. But and now if bishop takes on h6, we will play queen on h4 and transpose, right? Well, you will be right if you were to think that. But the thing is, after this, 95 is even stronger. So this is another thing I really like. Everything is unexpected. So look how ambitious black is. Instead of trying to transpose into a surprisingly good line that we just saw, which will be possible, no, we're aiming for even more with knight on f5, activating our pieces. And now, pawn takes, knight takes. So you can see we're 2 pawns down, but look at development. Look at white's position. Once again, almost every engine will gives equality here. So they're basically saying that, remember, it is an opening in which black gave up 2 pawns, but they're at least fully compensated, if not more, And, well, recently I checked this position, and I saw that there was this Peruvian player, which is called Emilio Còrdova. It's really strong, and he played at least 3 games in this exact lane, same line, this position, after pawn takes and knight takes on d7. So I'm going to show you just one that it was a miniature. I'm not going to show you every line, but it's a really nice example. So Emilio Cordova in this game, and nowadays I think as well, he's like a 2600, really, really super, very strong GM. This game he was playing Torres Rosas, he's at 2350. And look at the miniature, it was really nice. So knight on e2, bishop on d6. Again, bishops, really aggressive, these spears, knight bc3, short castles. Well, white even went for h4. We probably will be able, correctly to correctly criticize this move. It's probably not the best move. I mean, we should probably think more about development and try to have a stable position for white, and then saying, hey, we're 2 pawns up. At the same time, h4, it's aggressive, it's understandable, and it is also trying to prevent any possible queen h4 check, I mean, you have to think that this check is always looming in the air. And sometimes there are particular stuff that you cannot do because of the possibility of that check. From those points of view, this h4 is understandable, but queen e8, I mean, I really like this way of playing, not even getting onto, let's say, queen on e7, allowing, maybe some knight on d5, or the planned knight on f4, knight on d5, king on f2, and rook on d8. So now every black piece is in the game. And okay, actually rook d8 has a particular threat that I obviously played with white pieces missed, and that is why he's going to lose this miniature. So he playing a knight on b5. This is a huge mistake because he's simply overlooking the threat that it was created by this rook on d8 here. But I mean, you can imagine where this is coming. It's just that knight on e5 exclam. Quite creatively using that, right? That same X-ray attack. So let's say, well, if you take that is check and bye queen. And at the same time, well, this knight on e5 is just hitting this pawn on c4, and he's doing actually much more in the game. Okay, white played knight takes on d6. That is understandable. They want to start by taking away the attacking bishop, but this is not enough. And here, b3 is the last mistake. Again, maybe understandable because they wanted to protect the c4. But look at the way Emilio Cordova finishes up the game. Knight takes on f3, exclam. G takes, bishop takes on f3. I really like this, and resigns, right? That there are checkmates all over, I mean, and otherwise, even if you play rook on g1, there are just checkmates all over. I mean, it's understandable. I was going to say 4 units against this poor king, but I have to say 5. I mean, everyone is trying to make white's king. Okay, this was maybe an over the top example, but once again, I adore this Poli-Gambit, and after f5, as you saw, this move is kind of forced. You have to take it there. And after knight on e6, well, what else? I mean, you already have a clumsy pawn on f3 and no development at all. And with black trying to go with everything at you and at your king. Queen on h4 check is always looming in the air. And this I don't know, such a nice sequence, right? I'm actually looking forward to have this position with black, this exact position with the gambit. It's not quite often that the white plays c4, but okay. So, well, for now at least, let us just finish with the Owens defense. We'll continue maybe if there are, if you have questions on particular lines, stuff like that, you can always leave them on the comments. I'll give you feedback. Maybe I'll do a fourth part on the opening if you like that. So, but well, as usual, just remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you the next time. Goodbye.